Hello and welcome to breezy and cold night here in the Icalo shores and forests as we get ready for the qualifying uh, between four racers, the two teammates from LeBron James, Joshua Williams, and Nizam Fahim, and two other drivers, one from Panipui and the other from Henser, Matrix Tube, and Doppelganger. Q1 will start soon. They're just on the practice laps as we are a bit rushing here. We are behind schedule, therefore, we are not doing practice sessions this week. So quali session one will start in, I'll give it 2 minutes from now. So 2 minutes from now, and we will start quali sessions. All the drivers will be able to get a bit of practice in as Q1 will start soon. So it's 13 minutes for Q1 and 7 minutes for Q2. Now, in the first Q1 session we ever had for FM1, we had a big fight between Matrix Shub and Nizam Faum. And then the second Q1 session we had, it was a big fight between Doppelganger and Matrix Shub as well. So we're probably hopefully going to see a fight in this one as well. And if we go by statistics, there's a good chance it will be Matrix Troop fighting for that P3 position to go into Q2. We're 40 seconds in, into the timer into the 2 minute timer. Joshua Williams stuck on the track. I don't know what he is doing.
Rice.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Everyone's frozen for me.
Yeah. Just restart. You got plenty of time.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Can we line up now or no?
You can line up, yeah, but there's still 1
Let me change
minute.
my internet. Give me 5 minutes. 2
Yeah,
minutes
fair,
max.
fair. So the drivers will get a bit of added time into their practice sessions. Doppelganger taking this time, taking this opportunity to put a bit of practice in. Now he did say this is one of his disliked tracks, not hated but disliked. So we will see how he goes about racing here. Now I'm pretty sure the last winner here was Tipsy Maswaga. As we didn't race here often, we only raced here once or twice maybe. But I'm not sure if Matrix Shub raced here before.
No.
No, right? Yeah, so Matrix Shub hasn't raced here. I'm pretty sure the only two were Doppelganger and Joshua Williams. So it will be a very interesting race. Now, was it lap times in this race? Depends, but I've seen a good sub 18. So laps between the race will be maybe around 60 to 70 laps in the race. Yep. We're just gonna wait on you, and once you join, we will do the quali session. Or we'll let everybody go into the pits, then we'll do quali session. But yeah, as I was saying, we've seen some interesting lap times here in Icalo with maybe sub 18 seconds. Now, as we know, around 18 to 19 seconds means around 60 to 70 laps as average with new FM1 regulations. So it will be quite a long race lap wise, and it will be a very interesting one at that, as it will be loads of chances for all the drivers. Now, I don't think there might be one or two races where it goes down to maybe 40, 50 laps, but it will be very rarely. So we all have to get used to 60 and 70. Now we're waiting on Nizam Fahim to dive into the pits as Q1 sessions will start once he goes into his pit box. I got that, Nizam. Just go.
Wait, give me a second.
I got that. Just
I'm
go.
sorry.
And once he goes into the pit box, everybody can line up. Yep, and he's in. Q1 sessions will start with 13 minutes on the clock for Q1 and 7 for Q2. Q1 sessions have started. Matrix Shub out the box first. He's on his out lap, getting ready for his first lap here. He's got 1 minute 30 as soon as he crosses the line here. And Matrix Shub starts his lap. Joshua Williams surveying from above, as we did see a bit of a fight between him and Matrix Shub in Q2 of LeBron James Motorsport Grand Prix. Matrix Shoop struggling a bit there in the second sector. Actually, I don't think there's sectors in this track. Anyways, it's Matrix Shoop crossing the line for 1882, which is a very, very strong lap. Again, I'm saying, as I said, we can see lap times around sub, was it 18? So we might be expecting a bit of a 17-second lap for Joshua and Doppelganger, as they are used to tracks like these. That was 1886, so a bit faster from Matrix Shub. No, 1882 was previously, and that one was 1863, a faster lap than before. Matrix Shub seems to be pushing his car here. He's got around 30 seconds left. He's gonna pull off maybe one more lap. Ooh! A strong lap from Matrix Shub there. 1752. Breaks the sub 18 for Icalo here. He's going around the tracks. And this will be his last lap, as he will have to dive after he finishes. He will have to dive into the pits after he finishes this lap. And that was at 18:35. Fastest time for Matrix Shub, 17:52. A very strong lap from Matrix there. Pretty sure next stop on the track is Doppelganger. A strong lap for Matrix Shub. Matrix Shub into the pits he goes, allowing Doppelganger to leave. Now Doppelganger's on this out lap. He made a better decision now, not leaving too early like he did in LeBron James Motorsport, which was a very, very big mistake he did there. Then, as he starts his first lap, a very, very good entry into turn 1 and 2 and exit as well. Ooh, very swift with it in the double hairpin here in Icalo. Round the last corners as he goes round towards the chicane. Will he beat Matrix Shoop's time? He gets a 17:18, beating Matrix Shoop's time by around 4/10 of a second. A very strong lap from Doppelganger, meaning Joshua Williams will have to push harder to try and beat him. Doppelganger rounding the track here, getting a 17:44, a bit slower on that lap. He's got around a minute left on this session for him. Rounding the turns here, keeping it clean as he goes down towards the last few turns. 17:62 for him there. It's 10 minutes left for Q1. All the drivers are waiting their turn. Now, I think what the drivers have learned quite recently with all these quality sessions is to take as much advantage to was it their 1 minute and 30. But that was a time of 16 seconds 50 for Doppelganger. A very strong lap from him. 5/10, beating the sub 17 there. And this will be his last lap. Once he finishes it, it will be the end, as he did get 16:75. A very strong lap from him. He's looking very speedy on the track. We will be hoping for a lot of performance. He dives into the pits, allowing for Nizam Farm to go out. A time of 16:50 for Doppelganger, putting him in provisional pole and Matrix Shub in provisional P2. Nizam Farm going
Wait,
round.
I
Yeah?
just have a question. Like, when you go into the pits, do you need to change your boat or no?
No.
Okay.
You can just line up straight away if you want.
Alright.
But yeah, I think one thing the drivers has learned to do is they take advantage of their 1 minute and 30, unlike before. In their first quali session, they basically cut it short by a few seconds, which I guess was inexperience of them. But it was the first quali session, so you know, it's all good. As it is 21 seconds 73 for Nizam's first lap. He seems to be struggling a bit here with the lag taking place. Crossing the line
How much
now.
is it?
19:53 for Nizam Fahom. Faster time. He's beaten the sub 20s. And going around the turns here. keeping it clean. We see Matrix Shub and Joshua Williams just surveying him on the last turn here and finishing for 17.98. A very strong lap from Nizam Fahom, being able to shave 2 seconds off from his previous lap. A very, very good lap from him there. Going around the turns here, he seems to be doing good.
Oh,
Trying to keep it going, and gets a time of 17.74, shaving 2 tenths off from his previous lap. He keeps on shaving each second off. Let's see if he might be able to beat Matrix Shub here. Going towards the last corner, getting a time of 18.32, and that will be his last turn. He will have to go into the pits this lap, meaning the next person in line, Joshua Williams, can go out as soon as Nizam goes into the pits. And there this Nizam goes straight into the pits. A time of 17.74 for Nizam Fahom. Joshua Williams on his out lap right now, soon to start his first lap in the quali here. Starts it off. Now we haven't seen a fight yet in this quali session, but let's see what Joshua Williams can do in this track as he goes down the last few turns, and we will finish it for a time of 15.22, beating a sub 16. A very strong lap from Joshua Williams. Again, as I was saying, this track sees an average of 18 seconds in a lap time, but with all these fast drivers, Joshua Williams peels into the pits. Only 13 seconds used in his quali session. Doppelganger out for his quali now. Joshua, very strong lap from him. Yeah, but continuing on with what I was saying, this track can see around to 18 seconds per lap. But yeah, these drivers are much faster than before. They've learned the ways to shave as much time off. And that 18 seconds that I'm talking about was maybe 2 seasons ago when racing was still quite premature and quite undeveloped as it is now, as compared to now. Doppelganger gets a time of 16.35. A good lap from him there, beating his previous lap by 2 tenths. But he still has to shave a second and 1 tenth off the time if he wants to beat Joshua Williams, crossing the line for a time of 17.23, slower than before by 1 second.
Joshua
Now,
Williams.
Doppelganger, my bad. Mixed it around. Was it? Doppelganger gets a time of 17.23, crosses the line there for 16.74, not being able to beat his personal best yet of 16.35. Going down the turns here, he's trying to take as much care into the turns here as he goes down the last one, getting a time of 16.57, not being able to shave some time. But what I can say is he's probably the smoothest driver who goes through that double hairpin, because out of all of them, he takes it very, very cleanly and gets a time of 16.51, shaving a time of 600ths of a second from his previous lap, but he is 2 tenths behind was it this lap fastest lap, and there it is. This is his last lap there with a 17.17. He has to peel into the pits, with up next being Matrix Shub as he goes around the turns here and will peel into the pits now. And there it is, getting a time of 16.34. Doppelganger. Now Matrix Shub is allowed to go out now, as we do have 3 minutes left of the session, so we might be able to fit one more person after Matrix Shub, which might be Nizam Fahom. It is currently P1 Joshua, P2 Doppelganger, P3 Matrix Shub, and P4 Nizam Fahom. But let's see what Matrix Shub can do with that gap. He might be looking to increase it to maybe at least a second in time. And there it is, going down the turns here. Matrix Shub soon to finish his first lap for 17:92, which is slower by 4 tenths from his fastest lap there. Going down the double hairpin, keeping it clean, especially in this area where most of the drivers get stuck. Matrix Shoop going down the turns here, finishing for a time of 18:25, slower than his previous lap. Matrix Shoop still trying to shave a bit of time here, going down the turns, keeping it as fast as possible, staying on that packed ice. He is trying to beat his previous time as he crosses the line for 17:61. Better than slower by 1 tenth from his fastest lap. Going down the turns now, Matrix Shoop looking to beat it. 17:35, faster than before, building up the gap to a total of 4 tenths between him and Nizam Falhom. Going down the turns now, this will be his last lap. And gets a 17 on the dot, 17 seconds on the dot, and he will have to peel into the pits this lap. He is 1/10 of a second, a tenth of a second away from Doppelganger, so he might be able to contend for P2 in Q2. Nizam Fahom now allowed on the track. He will be the last one out if he takes his whole 1 minute 30. And there it is. Was it Matrix Shoop? A time of 17 seconds on the dot. And Nizam Fahom starting his flying lap now. What is that? Oh, those are pigs. Oh no, cows. I've never seen those cows. Anyways, Nizam Fahom going down the turns here, keeping it clean down in that triple chicane into the last chicane there, finishing a time of 20:35. Now he did get hit into turn 1, so hopefully by the end of this lap he gets a good time going down the turns here and crossing the line for 18:52, just slow of his fastest time by 1 second and 1/10. He's going down the turns here and gets a bit stuck again, that turn being the most difficult. And once he crosses the line here, it will be the end of Q1, crossing the line for a time of 19:75. So Q1 ends with P1 Joshua Williams, P2 Doppelganger, P3 Matrix Shoop. Q2 will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Q2 starts with Doppelganger out first into for his quali there, out for his out lap. Now going down the turns here, Doppelganger will soon start his lap for Q2. First one to start the lap here in Q2. Now Joshua Williams is not lining up for his quali session yet, with only Matrix Shub waiting in that lineup. Now here it is, Doppelganger rounding the turns here, going down for a time of 16:27, shaving his time down by 2 tenths and 300ths of a second. A very strong lap from from Doppelganger there, but it seems like he might be able to beat that sub 16. Gets a time of 18:63 for that lap there, and he did get stuck a few times there, so let's hope he can at least contend for that P1 position. If he does, if he gets a sub 16, he might be looking at a good pole position here in Icalo, finishing the time for 17:89 for Doppelganger there. Going down the turns now, he's got 30 seconds left on his times here out of 1 minute 30. Going down the turns and will soon end his lap for 16:62. Just slow off his fastest lap by around 4 tenths of a second. And there it is, Doppelganger rounding the turns. Once he crosses the line, he will be able to finish one more lap before. Oh no, he dives into the pits with a time of 16:27, I'm pretty sure. 16:27 for Doppelganger. Matrix Room now out. Doppelganger holding provisional pole here in Q2. Matrix Shub in P1. Matrix Shub for his flying lap. There it is. He starts his flying lap. Going down the turns into turn 1 and turn 2. Down the double hairpin. Gets a bit of a hit into that second hairpin. Into the tight section. Down in the 90 degrees. As he finishes his lap for a time of 16:93, beating his previous fastest lap by 700ths of a second, but not beating Doppelganger's time yet. Is Matrix Shub going down the turns here, finishing for a time of 1760 actually, slowing down by around 7/10ths of a second from before, from his previous lap. Rounding the last few turns here into the last corner and finishing for a time of 1760 again. A weird anomaly, but he got the exact same time as his previous lap. Rounding the turns here, Matrix Shub looking to improve his time, finishing for a time of 1683, now getting faster than 1/10 of a second from his previous fastest lap, which is a very strong effort from him. But he has to get 16:27 if he wants to beat Matrix Shub, Doppelganger, as he goes around the turns here. And this lap will be his last lap, and then he has to peel into the pits. That was a time of 18:47 for Matrix Shub there, but he's got this one last lap before he peels into the pits to prove himself maybe worthy of that provisional pole. Going down the turns here, finishing a time of 18:32, just unable to beat Doppelganger and gets a time of 16:83 for his Q2 was it try. Going down into the pits, it's now Joshua Williams' turn for his qualifying. And there it is, 2 minutes on the clock left for Q2. Joshua Williams rounding the turns here. He's probably looking for at least a sub 16 to put himself clear ahead of P2 and P3. And it's Joshua Williams rounding the turns here, keeping it clean, and will finish his lap for a time of 16:05, faster than Doppelganger by a time of 2/10ths of a second. And finishing this lap, Joshua Williams with a time of 16:08, just slow by 3/100ths of a second from his previous lap. Going down the turns here, he keeps on going, unlike before, and finishes for a time of 15:48. A very strong lap, sub 16 for Joshua Williams, which makes it harder for Doppelganger to beat his time. Now, question is, will he peel into the pits? Is Joshua Williams finishing his lap for 15:05, almost beating sub 15. He's 500ths of a second away from getting 14.99 as he will go into the pits. Is Joshua getting a time of 15:05? Matrix Shub, no, Doppelganger now out for his qualifying. He has to beat a time of 15:05 if he wants to get that pole position away. This is going to be the last person out for Q2. So Doppelganger starts his lap with a good start here. Going down the turns is going to be close as the time is counting down. It's Doppelganger rounding the turns here, finishing his lap for 16:19. He has 20 seconds on the clock now. This is probably going to be his last lap. He's got to make this a good lap. Going down the turns here, will he beat the sub 15 or will he be able to get better than that? 17:01 for Doppelganger, and this will be his last lap as the timer for Q2 has done. This is his last chance at the time to beat Joshua Williams, rounding the corner here, beating a time of 16:47, just short. With Q1 and Q2 ending, it's P1 Joshua Williams with a time of 15:05. P2 to Doppelganger with a time of 16:27, and P3 to Matrix Troop with a time of 16:83, and P4 to Nizam Fahom with a 17:74.
Wow.
That's the end of
Crazy,
qualifying.
right?